Everybody, welcome. Mission Love and Life here at the Malvern Retreat House. We've got some young student athletes in the house. We're gonna learn a little bit about what it's like to be a young, up-and-coming student Catholic athlete, both at college and in college to be, with young Gina. So my name's Andrew Jacoby, and I'm excited to talk to these young people. So guys, what's it like to be a Catholic student and also an athlete in 2024?
Can we go first?
Yeah, sure.
Either one.
It's awesome. It has a lot of challenges that I'm sure you can imagine how that would go. But what's nice is where we go to school, it's a Catholic school, so chapel's on campus. There's a whole parish like down 5-minute walk down the road. So it's nice that we're in a good area. That makes it easier, and it's a small school, so everybody knows everybody. So that also makes it a lot easier. But I think that it all comes down to how you prioritize your time. Like if you're gonna take school, sports, and God seriously, you have to find a way to fit all three into your schedule and balance everything out. Because if not, then I think you figure out kind of quickly how everything can spiral out of control.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. A lot of it is prioritizing your time. Like, for example, if you get out of class early one day, you could very easily do your homework in the afternoon and then relax that night. Or you could, I don't know, go sit in the chapel in the afternoon and then do your homework at night. And yeah, you might not get to relax that night and, kind of just chill, but it's still, it's honestly just putting God first in the moments when you need to. But it's all worth it in the end, I think, because you feel so much better when you prioritize God. And it makes your day just flow so much easier, too. Being a student athlete, you have a lot to get done every day, like class, work, if you have a job as well, lifting, practice. It winds up being a lot, but, if you make time for God, He'll give you more time, I feel like. You know?
How about you, Gina?
So, I'm not in college yet, but, I'm a senior in high school. But, I know, me personally, I'm definitely going to a public college. But, the first thing I see when I drove up on campus was a Catholic church. So, there's definitely a very strong Catholic presence at my college, which I really do like. And that was something that did impact my decision on the college. But, I know a lot of athletes I know that do go there that are Catholic. They do, the Catholic clubs. But, because of travel time, it's a D2 school. We are going to be traveling a lot. And also, the closest college to us is, a 2-hour drive or, an hour drive away. So, they were yeah, you will miss Sunday Mass a lot, but, you can go to Mass on Wednesday with the team. Mm-hmm. And it's, a whole thing.
So there's a transition from high school to college. What's the biggest difficulty in terms of temptation as it relates to you're leaving home, a home environment, and going to a college environment? Difficulties there as it relates to living out your Catholic faith.
Yeah.
Can we go first?
Yeah, I would say it's not. I would say it's not necessarily one thing. I would say in more of a broader sense. I know they say, what's it called? What's the saying? Downtime is the devil's playhouse or something like that.
Yeah.
Idle hands.
Yeah, idle hands. Yeah. If you have so much extra time, the devil's going to use that to tempt you. And I feel like you have so much extra time in college. You don't, but you do at the same time because you're away from home. You're on your own. You can walk to class and be back in, it's not far away, at least not at our school at least. So I think that it's more so just temptation in general. I wouldn't say it's necessarily one or two specific types of temptation. But then also just piggybacking off that, the temptation, they also say if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you busy, So I think is more true now than ever. I feel like I'm so busy every day, but I also don't accomplish that much every day. And it's so easy to forget about God when you get busy, So I think that's another big thing as well, is just keeping your head down and staying focused on Him.
Yeah, I think I want to harp on that kind of because I don't think that the pressures of being alone, hit me as much. You know what I mean? I feel like I kind of like do well and I'm like responsible with like keeping all my ducks in order. I think the issue is what Nikki said is you get overly busy with things that like don't really matter more than God, obviously. But then it's just like the little things, like they're like the stupid busy that you kind of have, where it's like, well, I didn't even pray today. You know, I didn't open up my Bible and read scripture. I didn't go to adoration, and it's not that you did anything wrong per se, but you didn't do anything right. You didn't prioritize God, and that's how everything starts to kind of just slowly, like the wheels start to slowly fall off. And I think that's like the big issue is what you were trying to say is, you know, how busy you are with your time.
Yeah, like this past Monday, for example, I got done class a little early, so I was thinking, oh, I could go to the chapel, and then I had so much laundry to do after. So I was like, all right, I have a lot of laundry to do. Maybe I can get it done quick, and then go to the chapel after. And there was like no washing machines and no dryers, so I was just sitting around, and I would like have to do like one load at a time, and it was just taking forever, and I was like genuinely so annoyed. I don't get angry very often, but it made me like really angry. And but I think like I realized that after I didn't go to the chapel, you know, so why is God going to make things run smoothly for me if I don't give him his time? And I think as well as that, I didn't give my time to God, so of course I'm not going to think about, hey, don't lose your temper right now, you know. It's just even like this little stuff like that is what'll really get you, you know.
There's a sin of sloth, acedia. Is not just not doing anything. The other side of that is doing all the stuff, being like running around. That's actually a sin. It's like maybe the character, like the sin that characterizes our time, maybe more than any other. Just this constant busyness, not dedicating our time to the Lord, just running around, always doing all these little things. Kind of interesting what you guys are mentioning. Gina, do you have any thoughts on this?
Like I said earlier.
On your way to college?
I'm on my way to college. I'm not in college yet. So like I know everything that I've heard about college, and like it's like a big adjustment. Like everybody says like the first 2 weeks of college, like you're just in a shock because like you don't have your parents waking you up in the morning and that stuff, and like you don't have your mom cooking for you, which I'm kind of scared about. So like I know like there's all that stuff that's like, okay, you don't have your parents like telling you what to do, so now you're making all these decisions. So that also adds like, what do you choose to do, and like how do you manage your time, and like Nikki and Peter have been saying like, oh you have time, so go to church, or like you have time, so like do what you should be doing, don't go out and do the bad stuff.
Yeah, and I think that I feel like the world definitely makes college sound a lot scarier or worse than it actually is. I mean, like for you, Gina, at least, just to prepare you, if you surround yourself by the right people and you have some sort of a Catholic background, it's just how bad you want it. You know, it's not as difficult as the world makes it sound. But at the same time, it's also really easy to get lost in all of it. That's what I'm saying. Like if you have your head screwed on straight, even in the slightest, I think you're good, or anyone is good, you know?
So Pete, what's it like to have your younger brother at school?
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about was...
awesome.
I mean, yeah, not only is it just awesome, but it's... he helps me without even realizing it, because a lot of last year I could see myself getting too busy, you know what I mean, with things and not prioritizing my relationship with God. I'd be more focused on, especially in season, which this year I'm like kind of challenged to see how it's going to go when we come back, like, you know, Christmas break, since once we're back, getting to know if I'll be able to balance out my relationship with God and, you know, playing is going to actually work the way I want it to, and also doing well in school. But he helps me out a lot, because having him there, it's nice when, like, I'd go to church last year. I would always go by myself, but I would see people I went to school with in there, so like it wasn't like I was alone, but it felt like I was, you know, kind of like practicing alone. So having him here, it's nice because he brings people, I bring people, we both get to sit together, we're kind of like a group, you know what I mean? And I think that's because he prioritizes his relationship with God better than not only everybody, but at least better than me. So getting to see how he acts, you know, helps me like kind of like pick and choose how I act, as I want to, you know. You don't want to be shown up by your little brother, you know what I mean? So it's nice. It's nice having him there, because he actually helps me be better not only just at school, you know, like, you know, if I don't want to work out, he wants to work out, we'll go work out. You know what I mean? Or if I don't feel like practicing, he wants to practice, we go practice. You know, but not just in those aspects, but also with actually the important part, which is keep my relationship with God. And I think that's part of why I've been like, not only like happier, but I've done better this semester is because he's been there. And it's not even that like we spend so much time together, but more of like, he's just more of a reminder that, you know, how I should act. It's good.
How do you guys balance the competitive aspects of athletics with the sort of Christian idea of like a lack of egoism as well as a sort of brotherhood amongst
Great
men?
question.
That's a good question.
For me, I like even from when I was younger, like even now still as well, I always have struggled with like getting on the field and knowing that I'm better than everyone else, or even when I'm not, just thinking it at least. Especially in baseball too, because it's 90% mental. You have to walk on the field and like know that no matter what, you're better than all 17 other people on the field. But I think being Catholic it's made it easier, you know, because it's now when I step on that field, I know, all right, I'm better than you, but at the same time, like, I still love you. You don't want to be a jerk to everyone else on the field, but you have to know, you know, it's a weird balance, but if you do it charitably,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you do it charitably, I think you're good. Plus, God knows, you know. God's humorous, so I think he knows. All right, maybe I'm not actually. My ego isn't actually this big. It's just for the game, you know.
I had a priest tell me once in confession, because I asked that question. I was like, I feel like a jerk sometimes, and I'm not even trying to be. I just feel like one, and I don't know why. And he told me that God puts special, not just like charisms, but like things that we like on purpose in our life, because we might be able to find ourselves and build our relationship with Him through those things. So the last couple of years, like since I want to say like junior, senior high school, I've been trying to focus on that every time, like before a game or like, you know, after the game. Like, did I really like do those things correctly? Did I act how, if Jesus came to the field and was watching the game, did I act how He would want me to be? You know what I mean? And it's hard because, I mean, I definitely someone who's like quick tempered. So as soon as something starts to go a little wrong, I definitely get like a little like fired up a little bit. And the biggest thing I could teach myself was, as soon as you like in between the lines kind of thing, is, all right, let's, you know, we don't have to be the same person we are when we walk off, but like don't let that person in the game, because I'm a pitcher, so it's easy. I just go out there and I come right off. But yeah, it's not, you know, I'm not playing the entire game, but as soon as I'm coming off the field, I can't be the same person that I was on the field. Or after the game, it's, you know, there's nothing, no bad things between the kids on my team, kids on the other team, you know, coaches, any of that. It's all gonna be how it would be if Jesus was sitting in the game.
I also think that it makes everything off the field, it changes that as well. Like when I'm, you know, in the weight room lifting, it's all right. Why am I lifting, or why am I practicing, or stuff like that? It's, well, yeah, obviously I want to be better at baseball. I want to be stronger, but like at the end of the day, you're trying to be the best version of yourself possible, and that's for who? That's for God, you know. So it kind of gives you, I would say, more motivation, and when you're on the field as well.
Yeah, I think the root of the word for competition is from Latin competire. It means combine to create. So in a way, like for example, like I'm a tennis player, so, or I was a tennis player, and so Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal were like the two biggest players in the last sort of generation, and they together brought out the best in each other. Like they needed the other one. The competition brought out a third thing, like the best possible thing for the glory of God, which is so it was almost like a dance that they were both a part of. And they both thanked each other at the end of their career because each of them forced the other one's best version of himself, let's say, on the tennis court to come out, which wouldn't have happened if he hadn't gotten the resistance of the other player and the ideas of the other player. So in a way, the competition it's a joint activity. Yeah. It doesn't have to be although there is an element on one level of it being me versus you. That's true, but there's also a bigger element that's being played. You know, like these amazing games that we watch. That's why we watch, because there's some drama and there's this this heightened awareness, and there's this heightened beauty, because like when anything's done at a highest level, it's like art, and that can be done for the glory of God. What's up, G? So what is your thoughts on all of this
So
crazy talk?
when I play softball, it's a lot like how like Nikki and Petey said it. It's a very much a mental game, and like I know me personally, like I was not supposed to play this season. I was not supposed to play in college. Like I've had so many injuries that I don't know how I'm actually still walking, let alone playing. Like I've had a torn patella in my knee. I've had 13 broken bones in my ankle. Like my body's been through it, but like I don't know how God let me have another season, and He's let me play in college. So that's like such a gift, and like that's really changed my mindset of like how I play, because like I am obnoxious when I play. Like,
I could
like
not see that at all.
yeah, okay, because like I'm on the mound, and it's like a total mental game, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna throw in heat. I gotta just strike her out. Can't let her hit me. I can't let her hit off me. Like, I can't let that happen. But then it's also like I'm playing third base, so I'm at shortstop. It's like, okay, they steal. I'm swiping them into next week. Like, it's always like very aggressive. And like, also, I'm always been the shortest on my team. So it's like, okay, I'm easy to pick off because I don't have long legs for my strides compared to the girl that's next to me that's 5'10". So it's like that kind of mindset. Like, okay, I need to be faster. I need to beat them. And like also I'm a pitcher. Pitchers don't run.
Yeah.
Like PD probably never runs.
We run a lot at school, but in the game,
No.
I'm good. But
Right.
I did kind of want to focus on something that we both were talking about. I think that a lot of people get confused with the competitive part and the sin part. The competition isn't the sin. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, Andrew, when he finds a teammate or even like a rival, player where it's, like you're a good player, so am I. Let's see who's actually like, the better one. Competing like that isn't the sin. It's the criticizing part, which when I kind of figured that out, it made it easy to, it was hard. I think that was like one big challenge for me is because you want to be the best that's on your team, but then that there's guys who are, competing with you for some reason, whether, no matter what, if they're better than you, who they know, it doesn't matter. But I think once you rule out that part where it's like we're all supposed to be pulling like the boat in the same direction rather than like I'm the captain of the boat, you're behind me. I think that's when people start to realize how to deal with competition the right way and how to not fall into the trap of sin of wishing bad on other people.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Chariots of Fire?
No.
It's like anybody watching. It's a true story about a guy I think it was in England or Scotland he's a very serious Christian and also was an Olympic runner. And it's a story about how he's trying to balance his love for God and his running, and his family's pulling him in one direction. And it's a great movie, and talks about these themes. And he's saying that, one of the parts in the movie, he says that that he loves God, and God put in him this love of running. So when he's running, he feels like he's expressing the love of God because it was God that put in him the love of the game, the track.
Yeah.
So in a way, he was saying that, that's an important aspect of the sport. As long that we're glorifying God, we're glorifying the love that God put in us for the sport. That's why you play it. You play it for love, not to be better. In an ideal world, at your best moments, right? There might be moments where we all fall underneath that and start to say, oh, okay, well, I am angry, or I might be doing this for like some other reasons. But that's the challenge of it as well. Like everything in life, it's a challenge for us to do it for the right reasons. So to switch topics really quick, you guys were both on the retreat here at Malvern Retreat House, Retreat Center here this weekend with Father Gregory Pine. So what did you guys learn during the retreat? What did Father Pine teach you, or what did you learn over the weekend retreat with 320 men, which was the largest Nights of Immaculata retreat ever this year for Father Pine? So what did you guys learn? And
First of all, I thought the question and answer, there was a lot there, but I think that he did a very good job there, and there was a lot to pack and pick out of that. But the biggest thing that I focused on that just hit, I don't know why it hit me for some reason, but he kept referring how much married men need to do better when they go home after this. And I think that's a big thing that we don't realize when we leave those retreats, or when we went to Kairos, things like that, where it's it doesn't stay that feeling you have when you walk away. You might not even get it after so many times of going, but it's just one of those things where it's nice to have the refreshers of those things, and then once you are back in your real life and reality sets in, it's how do I act now? And I know the week isn't over. It's only been a couple days since we left, but I think the way I've been interacting with people the last couple of days has been different, just because I mean, he talked about how important relationships are with others, and I think that, is a big key to how we do better, with our relationship with God is how we treat other people too, especially our families. And the role of man and women is lost now. I think we were talking about Ephesians 5 in the summer, and I don't know, it's the married life now I feel like isn't what it used to be, and it's not even that like there's bigger issues other than it's not even that there's like complex issues. Some of them are just very simple of there's just an identity loss between man and women. They don't know their roles anymore, and I think that was something that he kind of touched on for us as men to bring back, not only to like our homes but into society when dating and getting engaged and getting married.
Yeah, what stood out to me wasn't really anything in specifically that he said. It was more so the way that he talked, because he was a Dominican, and you could just tell the way that he talked was very Thomistic. It followed like the Summa, like Thomas Aquinas, the way that he formats all of his arguments in the Summa. And even especially during the question and answer session, his responses to the questions were straightforward. They were really smooth. He didn't need to take a second to think about anything of what he had to respond with. It just came out of his mouth very smoothly, and it was quick. It was an easy response. And I think that for me, I complicate my relationship with God sometimes. I think about it way too much. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Did I do that how I'm supposed to? I could have done that better, When in reality, I think that if you just dumb it down to its basics, which are, it's a relationship, God's always going to be perfect, but I mean, you might not be perfect for God, but that doesn't mean that, you're a failure, it means, all right, get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going, And I think that that just seeing him responding in such a simple but also profound way was inspiring to me. Like, hey, all right, simplify your relationship with God more.
Awesome. So, Gina, any thoughts on you going to college next year? What's your sort of roll us out here? Give us your thoughts on your first year in college coming up next year.
I'm not saying the college yet because I don't want to jinx it. Because I'm not actually committed, but I know I'm going. But yeah, just don't want to commit so early.
Yeah.
But I know once I get there, it's gonna be a little bit of adjustment. It's kind of far away from my house, so I will only be seeing my parents. I don't know. I'll probably have to come back for my birthday and then for holidays. I think that would kind of be it, because once softball season comes up, if I'm playing softball there, then I'm gonna be playing softball. But I know for me personally, my plan's so set in stone. Okay, I'm going for political science. I'm gonna major. I'm gonna have my minors, my concentrations, focus on school, do softball, and that sounds like a lot, but I feel it's what I need to get done, and especially since I only have 4 years to get my bachelor's degree. I know I'm happy because there's a Catholic church on campus. There's a very strong Catholic presence in the school, because I was touring there the other day. They had all the clubs out, and they only had 2 religious-based clubs. One was the non-denominational Christian club, and then the Catholic club. So there was only 2 options for any faith-based club, was Catholic or Christian, which that's a good sign, because I feel if you have to choose between those 2, that's a good choice to have to make. And then there was not that much of a Greek life, but there is still a Greek life. So if I want to do Greek life, because my dad wants me to do Greek life, so I'm thinking about it. But I know that's a big thing at my school. But I think it's gonna be good. I think the next 4 years should be good if I end up there.
Awesome. So I want us to end us in prayer. I think the one thing I pulled away from the retreat for the weekend was the power of that many people, that many men in one room praying together. The masses felt
You can just hear it. Like
It was just like there was a power to that, you know. Like I go to church, I'm a daily mass guy because I like, you know, in the prayer of Our Father, it says our daily bread. It doesn't say weekly bread. Like we need that bread daily.
Yeah.
So I go get that bread daily because I think that's like the central prayer of Christianity. Essentially, is from the Sermon on the Mount. But to have those men all in that room doing mass, there was something really special about that. So it wasn't necessarily the talks or anything. And also to see a man like Father Pine who's so committed himself to the Lord, like he gave up ever having like a spouse. He gave up everything in his life except to follow this path. It was really pretty powerful. And the suffering that he mentioned during, which I thought was kind of like vulnerable of him to talk about, the difficulties that he goes through. So, and that was really powerful. And interestingly, like I heard him in a interview podcast after that, where he said that his reasons for entering, they asked him like why he became a Dominican, and he said, you know, if I told you why I became a Dominican, and I told you right when I entered, now I've been a Dominican for a bunch of years, and it's totally different. Like it's his reasons for having done it are different. So what it means is that we're all just kind of like pilgrims through this life. You know, you're in high school or entering college. You guys are in college, getting through that situation. But ultimately, you know, the purpose of our life is a journey. As there's the inscription on the tombstone of St. John Henry Newman. It says, I forget in Latin, ex umbria something, but it's from shadows and appearances unto truth. So that's the journey of our life. It's not to college or to high school. These are all steps, but ultimately it's to go from shadows and falsity to truth and love and goodness, ultimately. So that's really the journey of where we're headed, regardless of what happens with our baseball career or our tennis career or our college career. That's ultimately where we're going, from shadows and appearances unto truth. And then ultimately the fullness of truth when we die in eternity.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's really the journey of our life that we're all on. So who wants to lead us out in a prayer on that note?
It's all you.
Big Pete?
I mean, I can go, yeah.
All right, hit it.
In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, thank you for us to have the opportunity to be here today and be able to do this with Andrew and all of Mission Love and Life. Thank you for the gift of family, because without that we would not be here and have all of this. We would not be home, and we want to be able to start something like this and have this podcast opportunity. And in all of this and everything we want to pray for and are thankful for, we pray to Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Signing off.